Sometimes, depending on whatever your training is, that might be allowed, it might not be, okay? It helps if you do those things. If you plan ahead that some things are going to go wrong, just like in a wedding, just plan that something's going to go wrong and deal with it, right? Okay? And then there are other things that happen that we don't have a lot of choice over, and that may be divorce, death, illness, job loss, other major life changes, and it is not reasonable to expect yourself to be happy the whole season. And my stepfather died, and my husband's grandmother died right before Thanksgiving. Now, it doesn't really rob me of joy, but there's a couple of days before, just because of the darkness in the sky and the way the season is, that it reminds me, and I give myself permission to be quiet, to acknowledge that, and not to push on the anniversary of those deaths. So if you had someone who's had a loss, it is not realistic to expect them to be happy the whole time. But neither is it realistic to be sad the whole time either. Shoot for happy moments. Talk about the person who's gone. Talk about the joyful memories. Make them a part of the celebration anyway. Also, it's important to expect to feel blue right around January 3rd. You're going to feel let down. You're going to feel a little blue. Why not plan something special for that time? Whether it's holding back a few little special gifts or planning some little thing that you can look forward to when you have the letdown after the holidays, which is normal, and it does happen. Okay? And make sure that you find some help for yourself or a loved one if those blues don't lift. Sometimes you've heard it said that people are suicidal during the holidays, when the truth is it's actually after. Most people will rally to be with family members and to be a part of things, but it's after, in the month of January, where you're going to have people slipping more and more into a depression. Now, the next thing is keeping your priorities, and they are your priorities. A wise man once said, "Let your yes be yes, and your no be no." So you and your family get to prioritize what are the most important activities and traditions and gifts that you want to do. This Thanksgiving, I'm going to sit down with my daughter, my son-in-law, my mother-in-law, my husband, my other daughter, and say, what are the most important things that you look forward to at Christmas? What do we need to do? What's important and what's not important? What can we let go? And we need to look at that because everybody's growing up. It's not so important that we have the cookies out for Santa because everybody's grown up. But sit down with your family and you might learn some interesting things. What are our priorities? And stick to them. And when you do make those decisions to either take on an additional activity or to do something, do it happily. Because complaining just sucks the joy right out of it, doesn't it? It really does, okay? And remember that you're being intentional. The most important thing about the holidays is that you're making memories. And as we know, so many of our holiday memories are from childhood. And I don't know about you, but not all my childhood holiday memories are happy. Oftentimes there was a lot of drinking, there was a lot of yelling, there were a lot of things that were devastating to me as a child. So think about those things as you're planning your Christmas. Make sure that your grandchildren, your children have happy, calm, peaceful moments to remember. And do whatever you can to make sure that that happens for you and the other people around you. Now, packaging your priorities reminds me of gifts. You know, the stuff. So right now, since just to prove to you how important this stuff is, I'd like for you to name to someone next to you or to think of the 3 gifts you got last Christmas. Go. Now, gifts are very important, mind you, right?
Gift cards, pajamas, and perfume.
Good job, Becky!
That's what I got.
There you go. Okay, some of us can remember, right? Did you hear how someone just laughed and had a blank look at their face?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next time you're stressing in the store and you got to get the right package at 4 o'clock in the morning, just think, a year from now, you're going to be sitting at this table going, what? Right?
They weren't things though. They were experiences that I had that were, I got time with my husband and time in a tree. I couldn't be happy.
Yeah, there you go. Every year for my birthday, I ask my husband to write me a love letter. I don't want anything else.
Oh.
I don't want anything else. But can you remember your all-time favorite present?
That was my birthday.
Might have been a birthday or a holiday. All-time favorite holiday present.
My son always makes a calendar through iTunes, not iTunes, but it's a Mac product. And every year Christmas time, he'll put pictures on it from the previous year for every month, the collage, that I look forward to that every year.
There you go.
Calendar.
There you go. Real gifts are oftentimes handmade. Oftentimes they're a real surprise. And oftentimes they're given with much anticipation and joy. That's pretty good criteria for any gift. Oftentimes handmade. A real surprise. You know, this whole, here's my list. You know, my sisters try to do that with me with my nieces and nephews, and I say, no, not doing it. I'll give them what I'd like to give them, within reason, but I want it to be something special that when they look at it, they say, this is Auntie Gina. They know who it is. And it has something of me on it. And it's not necessarily the latest Star Wars toy, because they'll get tired of that. But when they're 25, they're still going to remember this special book that they got. Right? So you just think about those kinds of things.
The boys might not be tired.
The boys
I'm not
might.
tired of anyone yet. I'm just saying, I am not tired of
Now,
anything yet.
I'm a good auntie. I give them a book of Star Wars paper airplanes. Is that that count?
Yeah, that's cool.
Very good. I'm not terrible.
Okay, that's
But just handing somebody a list is,
If somebody R2D2, they'll never
it
just
takes
think of it.
it takes the surprise out of things.
Alright.
And here's the last point I'm going to leave you with, okay? We are in a technological age. Here's my suggestion. I dare you to have a no-screen holiday. Some people in your family might actually stop breathing. Have a basket when people come in the door, say phone, 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 phone.
Oh, yeah, that is sad.
All right?
That's a true.
I saw one of the saddest cartoons last year at Thanksgiving, and it was a grandmother, and she was coming out, and she had this beautiful steaming platter of turkey, and she had this beaming look on her face, and she came out, and our whole family was bent over the phone. Right? So your presence is the present. When was the last time someone looked you in the eye, truly listened to you, and you truly listened to them, and there was no ding, no beep, none of this? We have to train our children how to do that. We're doing them a disservice. Last Thanksgiving was wonderful because my daughter was grounded from her phone. But she said after the month, that was the best Thanksgiving I ever had because she talked with us. She was present. We played games. So that's when I decided, I'm going to take the screens away. I might have to fight with my husband the most, but just because your presence is the best present. So I just want to encourage you to take some control back of your holidays. Don't let them suck the joy out of it. You can have Happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas. Thank you.